Let's have a look at the front pages of the papers, shall we? You are not that special, it says on the front page of the Metro. He's not going to like that, is he, Prince Harry? Bombshell ruling. But he's going to spend more of our money in an appeal. Is there any point?
So he don't buy into this melodrama. He is not going to appeal. He is going to, if he takes action, and he'll do it on advice, he will ask for permission to appeal because he's just like the rest of us and he doesn't get to demand that the Court of Appeal pays him attention. And it will only be if this trial judge thinks that there's merit in an appeal, or if he applies to the Court of Appeal, if the Court of Appeal thinks that there's merit in an appeal. So, you know, that is an open question. I think I'd be foolish to try and second-guess them, but this is a very comprehensive judgment and, you know, he got the full attention of a proper High Court judge for a very long time.
Yes.
He's got a very comprehensive judgment, and if you don't like the outcome, that's fine, but you have to sort of respect the process a bit.
Well, quite. And we've got, I think, an inside look at The Sun on this particular story as well, because it seems as though this is yet another example of Harry then just going, I don't like the ruling, so I'm going to have another go.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have a quote here, which is a letter that the Duke of Sussex wrote to the head of the civil service. And he says, I would like the person's name who is willing to take accountability for this choice, please.
Right.
And it all sounds a bit sort of like, I'd like to speak to the manager.
Yes.
You know, I don't. You know, there's a.
Do you know who I am?
A fly in my soup. Yeah. Don't you know who I am?
There it is. There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take no for an answer.
It is very...
To tell you the reason why he lost, it's because they have a very comprehensive system for doing all of this and for making these decisions. And, it, you know...
And he can still get actual protection.
Yeah, exactly.
The people who are saying it's wrong are not understanding that he will still be able to apply for protection whenever he comes.
Yeah, and it's simply wrong to suggest that one individual, out of, you know, whatever reason, decided he shouldn't get protection.
Yeah.
It's a properly done process, which is why the judge said that it wasn't irrational, and it was appropriately done and not unlawful.
I think a lot of people can't get their heads around the sort of hypocrisy of Harry and Meghan, which is that, on the one hand, he constantly invokes the tragedy of his mother and her hounding by the press and the problems of fame, and says he doesn't want that, which is fair enough. You can imagine why he would feel that way.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, him and Meghan are having camera crews following them around skiing, are reporting, you know, deals with Netflix and all the rest of it. So it's like he wants to be... It's a bit like what Maddie says. He's extremely entitled. He wants fame. That's all, to pay him attention, but only at the right time.
And nobody's allowed to write anything. And nobody's allowed to write anything unless he okays it. But that's the thing. You know, if he wanted to be safe, he probably shouldn't have moved to a country where 40,000 people died last year from gunshot wounds. You know.
But I remember when, after the Oprah Winfrey interview, I guess that was maybe a couple of years ago now, maybe longer, I can't remember. To be honest, I've
probably
lost
4 years
interest.
ago, actually.
I think a lot of people are fed up to the backteeth of hearing about them one way or another. But I remember a lot of the sort of Meghan and Harry fans were saying, oh, well, they're not asking for anything unreasonable. They're not necessarily asking for, like, privacy and a private life. They're asking for a private life on their terms.
Yes.
Well, no one gets
Life
that.
isn't like that.
If you're going to do things publicly, people are allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, sorry. You don't get to make millions and millions of pounds from writing books if you're not somebody that people are going to be interested in.
And writing a book that said no one paid attention to
Yeah, I know.
And I just want to get this across because I think this is very important. Court time itself is a limited resource.
Yes.
The attention of a High Court judge. We can't just snap our fingers and create High Court judges. It's incredibly hard. We don't have many of them. You know, having their attention and their time and a proper trial process is not just expensive, it is a resource in itself. And how much of our court system is he intending to personally use?
Well, I know there was a moment last year when he had 6 different actions going on in the High Court at the same time.
And we're always hearing about how terribly backlogged they are and how people are not getting hearings
He got
for
6
several
cases
years.
simultaneously on the go. Amazing.